Hi, it's Kim from Expressions of the Universe with your weekly wisdom for September 20th through September 26th. And we have the autumnal equinox here in the northern hemisphere. I suppose it would be the vernal equinox in the southern hemisphere. Either way, we're coming into Libra season. We're ending Virgo season. Happy birthday to the Libras. And I just had this epiphany today how the equinox is Latin for equal night, but it is equal day, equal night on the equinox. And we're moving into Libra season, which is about balance, the scales. So it's harmony and balance. It's also about love and compassion and kindness and our relationships, the relationships to ourselves and to others. And that's really going to play out during this Libra season. It could be a little difficult. I find myself coming into these energies over the last week, and I always seem to feel them a little bit sooner than the actual aspect. But I'm in a foul mood, and I'm really not liking people too much, so I immediately know that the way we feel is often a mirror. The way we feel about others is a mirror of ourselves. So I've been doing like a lot of inner soul searching, and so I pull out my Jan Spiller astrology for the soul, because it talks about our north nodes and our south nodes in our chart and why we do the things that we do. I was hearing something. Yeah. So I have our cards for the week. I don't know. I don't know what I wanted to do, but I feel that my mood should probably just take a mature route and say less. Less will be more this week. I will say that my next door neighbor and I, we've been doing fire pits. The weather is getting really chilly, and we keep having these weird experiences. We swear we saw a UFO a few weeks ago when we were stargazing. Last night, we both had the same ghostly encounter during our fire pit. And then we talked about it afterwards. Like, did you hear that? Did you see that? So we're at the fire pit last night, and he has his fire pit set. It's all like crushed pebbles around it, and then the chairs are around that. And we clearly both heard like somebody step onto the pebbles behind me, and then when I turned, I saw this shadow figure walk right past me and behind me, and he's sitting over here, so he's viewing it. And I didn't say anything for a minute, and I'm just watching and watching. And then a few moments into that, I'm like, did you see that? And he's like, yeah. I said, did you hear the stepping on the stones? It was like a thud on the stones and then the steps. And we feel that it was the former owner of his house. I noticed like my next door neighbor would never talk about stuff like that, especially with the stuff that goes on here in my house. And he would say, oh, no. But he's opening up more to it, and I love it. So anyway, we've been just having some really weird experiences. I feel the veil is very thin. So I've been having a lot of animal totem experiences. I've posted some of them, but a couple nights ago during the new moon, 2 cats were fighting in his driveway. They sounded like screaming children. I didn't even realize. I let my dogs out. It was 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Then they started in on the fight with the cats. And then the neighbors come out. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, not last night, but the night before, left my dogs out at 2:30 in the morning. It must be their time, to roam. And they got into a fight with a skunk. And if you saw my post, either on Instagram or Facebook, I had a house wren fly into my kitchen, not, crash. She flew in here because I leave the kitchen door open so that my animals can go out on the kitchen deck and enjoy the fresh air and sunshine whenever they like. And I did get her out the front door. And I thought at first it was a bad omen because I can hear my grandmother, she was very superstitious, all about the omens. And I just felt that because these wrens hang out here and they sing all of the time, they have beautiful bird song, and I feed them. I feel like I know them. I think she was just coming to give me a message, tell me something good is coming on the way. But, the skunk animal totem, that is about self-worth. It's also about putting up boundaries, healthy boundaries, telling people to back the F off. Really standing up for yourself. That is what the skunk is about. And they're not aggressive. They send their scent out as a warning. I will say that my dogs got mildly skunked. I wouldn't allow them into my bedroom. They knew not to come into my bedroom. The cats, that's freedom and independence, them screaming for their freedom and independence. So yeah, and the house wren, I feel that birds are the messengers of angels. So if it would have been, an ominous bird, although I love ravens and crows, I don't know. I don't know. I pay attention to these animals as messengers. And that's all I'm going to say for now. I've talked enough. Let's get to the cards. So the crystal cards that I picked, actually 2 came out when I picked them, and I thought that they were pretty interesting. Damberite was the first card that came out, but then I noticed that Moonstone Cycles was attached to the back of it when I picked it up. So this is about spirit, this is cycles. The cycles, I'm not going to get too far into the Moonstone. I believe we, just had that with the new moon. But I feel that we're coming into a new cycle. We're ending cycles and coming into new cycles. And this is like a 13-month cycle, 13 moons. Now, October will have 2 full moons. And so that's why we get 13 moons per year often, because of the once in a blue moon. So this is going to be 13 moon cycles. It will begin with the October full moon. I believe it's on October 2nd. The second one will be October 31st on Halloween. So, start counting from now, 13 moon cycles. Things are going to be very different. Now with Damberite Spirit, I have 2 pieces of this. I could only find one, which has me a little concerned because this is pretty expensive and it's really hard to find Damberite that is this clear and beautiful. And I don't want to drop it because this is an amazing piece, but it's a beautiful pale pink, similar to the photo. It's such a pale pink that you can really only notice it maybe when it's up against something that is white. You see, you could almost see the color, but when I'm holding it up, it looks clear. But it's a very pale pink. And it talks about us connecting with our divine inner spirit, our higher spirit, like our inner higher being. And this is from the Crystal Ally cards. So I'm just going to read real quickly from this. It activates our... What the hell was that? Did you hear that? Yeah, and I've got stuff moving over on the other side of the kitchen, and all the animals are sleeping. This is just so weird. I really feel like we're surrounded by spirit. Check and see when you're watching this video if you see any orbs. Give me an alert. because the veil's been so thin. Anyway, Damberite activates our sixth through the etheric chakras. So there's like 14 chakras, main chakras. One being the root chakra, two is the sacral, three is the solar plexus, four is the heart, five is the throat, our third eye is the sixth, our crown is the seventh, and then there are invisible etheric or auric chakras. So Damberite activates those. That allows one to see the vision of the higher realms. Okay, so I think that's really good with how crazy the planetary energies are going to be. We're coming into some pretty volatile times. I'll just let you know that right now. It's very egoic. It's combative. It could be explosive. And it's interesting because the opposite energy is that Libra energy, that we're trying to find the harmony and the balance within our relationships. But it will often bring out the worst in a lot of us, and that is the ego energy, that Aries, the Mars and Aries energy. Okay. So Damberite's strong suit is the ability to reveal to us that which has an energy that is normally too high for us to perceive. Fairies, angels, and light beings of all kinds are made visible with the aid of Damberite's influence. It allows us to pierce that veil that separates us from the divine, and the divine that we are not seeing in one another. So it really actually brings us together. Damberite is an ally that represents the realm of the spirit in physical form. Now, what's interesting too is this Damberite card. Where did it go? If you'll notice the background of these crystal cards, they always talk about the element in which it is connected to, and this is a storm element. So this, and I just noticed that I cracked this, but what's interesting is that when I pulled this card and I saw that it was a storm element, it made me think immediately, storms are coming. It could be literal storms, on the physical planet itself, but I also think it's emotional storms with this moon card coming up, because see the background in this, it is a water symbol, and that is our emotions. So I think a lot of emotions are going to be stirring up for many of us, and it's going to bring out pieces of ourselves that need to be revealed, need to be seen within ourselves, so that we can make better choices, better decisions, try to do better as a human. But we're going to see we're going to see the worst in a lot of people. You just be mindful of that over the next, couple of months. I think until probably the beginning of December. The message for Damberite says, Damberite's sweet energy is calling you to open your eyes to the magic and wonder around you. Fairies are playing in the grass, light beings are floating through the forest, and the world is full of unseen guides and teachers that are waiting for you to perceive them, kind of like the animal totems. And I don't know if you've noticed through the window, you'll see the birds flying down, because I keep my feeders outside of here. It's such a great viewing window. But I pay attention to all of the animal totems that are around me, because I feel that they're always giving me a message. If you reach out with your heart and mind to those on the other side, they will respond by offering guidance, love, and fun. Now, this could also be your ancestor spirit guides. Seek the unseen and develop your faith that is there, hiding just beyond the veil. Damberite is asking you to accept the unseen aspects of yourself as well. That's kind of like what this energy is that we're coming into. Close your eyes and explore the extent of your energy. Try picturing everything in your world as your creation, an extension of your thoughts and intent. Everything that shows up in front of us is a creation that came from within our hearts. And so when shitty things show up, it could be related to something negative that you thought about, a while ago, and now it's showing up, it's showing itself to you. That's why it's so important for us to be really mindful of our thoughts and our words. And, I'm not perfect. I catch myself all of the time. And I listened to a really great Cryon podcast yesterday. It was a couple months old, but it was speaking specifically about even when we're being positive and we're saying that things are going to work out for us, we end the sentence with, I hope so, or we'll see, or yes, I'd like to believe that everything is working out beautifully and I'm going to manifest, but I don't know if it will happen for me. Like, we always seem to end the sentence on some kind of negative note, maybe. We have to cut off ourselves before we end the sentence. And it's really all about training ourselves to think and act better. And part of that for me is really keeping to myself and staying out of the realm of others, although that is kind of hermit and isolation. But I don't want any outside influences that trigger me. And that's probably not healthy either, because the triggering helps us to grow. Anyway, call upon the energy of Damberite and the power of your spirit will be made clear to you. So even if you don't have this Damberite, you can use clear crystal quartz. You can pair it with rose quartz for the pink. But you can even envision having this with you. Envision this card and call upon that energy to come and wash over you. So this is third eye, crown, and etheric chakras. The affirmation is, I am an infinite part of an infinite universe. All right, so the first card that will come in for Monday and Tuesday that I'll post on Facebook and Instagram. It is the land between. I'm using Colette Baron Reed's Oracle of the Seven Energies this week. I feel like, it's a lot of chakra energy. The land between, I've had this card before, and I feel that we're still in between times. It's between, like what we're coming from and where we're going. And there's still so much uncertainty. And I think that's part of why this card continues to show up, is because we're in that in between. And this also will go with that Damberite, because it is the in between the physical world here and the spiritual world on the other side. The card for the middle of the week, which would be Wednesday and Thursday, it's close encounters. And this is talking about vulnerability, yet setting up healthy boundaries. I feel that this week, this entire week, is the tip-off of a huge healing that we all need to go through. However that is going to work out, I feel that we'll be working on that balance and harmony within ourselves and projecting out to our relationships the entire Libra season. And then the Friday and next weekend card is Exposed and Revealed. And so for this Exposed and Revealed, I did leave it open on this page to that. And it just talks about healing shame, the imposter syndrome, letting go of self-condemnation, freedom from past unresolved wounds, focusing on self-worth, that's the skunk animal totem, and the underlying beauty in rejection. So that's going to be huge for next weekend. So let's let me just recap. This weekly wisdom is for September 20th through the 26th. On Tuesday, September 22nd, that is when the sun will move into Libra, 0 degrees Libra, and we will have the autumnal equinox here in the northern hemisphere, vernal equinox down in the southern hemisphere. The time on that is the sun moves into Libra at 9:31 a.m. So that would be the exact time of the equinox. 9:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Adjust for your time zone. So prior to that 9:31 a.m., the sun will be at 29 degrees Virgo. So we're wrapping up the Virgo season. The Virgo season, I feel, it annoyed me. Even though I have a stellium in Virgo, it usually empowers me to get things done. I think the Mars retrograde made me feel like I was swimming through mud. I'm having good days, I'm having bad days, like some days with full of energy, a lot of days with no energy. That's definitely Mars retrograde. That will be over on November 13th. So we still have, like 5-6 weeks left of that energy. And it could be difficult. And we're not even out of the woods with the Mars after November 13th. It may feel easier, but Mars won't move out of Aries until, I can't remember if it's January 2nd. Yeah, I think it might be January 2nd. It hits its point where it was stationed. So it may be mid-January when Mars moves into Taurus. And that may be a little bit of an easier energy, a more grounded energy, but it could make us also more stubborn and like really plant our feet into the ground and not budge on our issues. But we have a couple of months for that. And then let me just end on, I'm working on this fall or autumn little painting for autumn type of greeting cards that I'll sell in my shop on Redbubble. I do have a really beautiful, I don't have it within reach, winter type theme card that will feature cardinals. I kind of want to focus on that a little bit, and because the cards, the greeting cards that I offer on Redbubble are relatively inexpensive, and a lot of people have been buying them and then framing them because it is inexpensive. And if you haven't checked out my Redbubble, I sell all of my art there. You can get it on up to 80 different items, from t-shirts to home goods like throw pillows, throw blankets, aprons, stickers, magnets, postcards, greeting cards, prints, phone cases, like all different crazy stuff. But it is, at Redbubble, it's Kimberly8183, I believe. And you'll see Expressions of the Universe as the background cover. And, or if you need the link, just let me know and I'll send it to you. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please share it with your friends. Comment me. Give me some thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell me how you like this video. I do want to explore the nodes a little bit more, like our own soul's journeys, and spend some time doing that. And so maybe I'll record some separate videos. I've just been so short on time lately. But check me out at expressionsoftheuniverse.com on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, and Redbubble. And, of course, my website. Until next week, happy Mabon, which is Equinox. Enjoy the new season, the new weather, and happy birthday, Libra, sun signs, rising signs, and moons.